All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to Bad Science Sunday. You're home for like all the internet, like bad science fun shit. um, this week we've got Joe from the Kentucky Atheist. Joe, hey, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about your elevator pitch?
Uh, I don't hear you, Joe. Are you muted?
Joe, your audio. I muted because of the reasons I said
Yeah.
earlier, but okay,
There we go.
yeah, you. But Joe, you were talking now, so stop
Okay.
muting.
Okay. Uh, so my name's Joe. I run the channel The Kentucky Atheist. I'm from Eastern Kentucky. I talk about my experiences with religion, and I've lately been trying to interact more with the atheist community and learn more about ourselves to try and normalize things. You can check me out at YouTube/The Kentucky Atheist.
Awesome. Yeah, I
Beautiful.
really excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here.
Oh, we have a great time.
Yeah,
And you're unprepared, so it's going to be a better time.
yeah, we
Okay.
didn't share the video with Joe today, so we're
Th-
don't hate me. You might hate me, and if you hate me, I can't blame you. It's going to be
It,
I love Joe. Joe came in and he was just like, I brought wine. I was like, is that bottle unopened? It's like, open it now. Make sure it comes.
right?
Right? Yeah, yeah. You need a whole full bottle. I I don't know. I'm trying to get like beach ready, so I brought water. We'll see how it goes. But in fairness, I am extra bitchy today. So, all right, what are we doing today, Doc? Would you like to let everybody know what we're doing today?
So we're doing I had never heard of this person to my knowledge before Maya sent it to me. Because the thing about Maya is a really bad friend. And it likes to expose her friend to unhealthy mental material. So thank you for that. And now we're doing it to you, Joe. So good luck with that.
I
We're
can't wait.
listening to Jordan Maxwell.
Oh, what'd you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. I said I can't wait.
We're listening to Jordan Maxwell over at the channel very clearly and precisely named Video Advice. I zoom in, but like this layout, it doesn't work as well anymore. Which has 3.46 million subscribers, and this video has 102,000 views. We always like to start with basically we're crying for help because that's unfair. Is how I think about it. So yeah, and the name of the video is "The World Is Not What You Think," and it's certainly not what he thinks. So there's that. But it's gonna be a veritable medley, grab bag of just nonsense. I
Oh,
do have it at
does anybody know how to pronounce this name?
no, yeah.
All right. Well, they are renewing their membership. Thank you. Welcome. Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your vaginas, and your nitties.
Yeah.
Begin to see how words and terms and symbols are used and the powers that be in this. Once you begin to see how words and terms and symbols.
See, I thought that maybe I started in the middle of a sentence, but no, this is just one of those things. Oh, I was gonna
It's
say
very Roger-esque.
I do have it on 1.5. Should I bring it down to 1.25? I think I should bring it down to 1.25.
Are used, and the powers that be in this world have set up a world of symbols and emblems and terms and catchphrases. Once you understand how this system works, for the first time, the world opens up to you. All of it is right in front of you. But if you don't understand what the words are and what the words mean, you're never going to figure out how this stuff works. There's
So society is made out of magical symbols, is what I have from this so far. Maybe not wrong. I mean, the magic part. But certainly it's true that if you don't know how any of it works, you're not going to do very well. Would you guys agree?
I'd agree with you. I'm not inclined to agree with anything this person says, though.
It's my job to translate what they say and just like process the hell out of it until I can package it up as something that's totally different but not as bad.
Yeah, I don't know that I do agree. We'll see.
Fair enough.
It's a very sinister, frightening, interesting symbolism that has been imposed upon this country, and the people have no idea in the world what's going on. And I will guarantee you, no matter how educated you might think you are, I will guarantee you, you have no idea in the world how the world actually works.
I'm getting like Illuminati vibes right off the bat.
From him, right?
Yeah.
Or do you mean like from his subject matter, or both? Because to me, it kind of sounds like he's in the Illuminati a little bit. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe I meant from
No matter
you.
how much you know, I know the
Oh,
secrets.
that's
Oh,
fair.
right, yeah. They've totally uncovered all of the secrets, and they are here on YouTube to divulge them to their 5 million viewers. It's so sweet of him.
You need to understand that when even on your check, when you're writing a check, the place where you put your name on a check, look at that line. What you're
So I did this on a check I had, and it is true. Although for me, only the first bit said authorized signature, and then I think it said it in other languages, but I'm not sure.
Mine's just a line.
Yeah, I had to find I had to find a check that did it. I don't think all checks do it.
signing on, and get a magnifying glass, and you will find that's not a solid line to sign your name on. That
I
is
mean, okay,
written. It's
but
a
in
typed
fairness, like what the line is saying is authorized signature. I mean, is
Yeah,
that how nefarious is that? I mean, it's not like if on the line it was like your this line verifies that you are signing over the blood of your firstborn to Satan. Like it's authorized signature. I mean, it's pretty much what we all understand it to be. Am I right?
yeah, you're exactly right. I can't remember. It may not be on the dollar bill. I'm looking at one like kind of closely, but this is a thing that happens on currency and checks and things like that that are designed to be resistant to forgery and counterfeiting.
It's a,
Is you'll have microtype.
yes.
And like on
Yeah,
dollar bills,
our driver's license does that a lot too. And again,
yeah,
because like if you try to copy it, or most people are one just going to see a line, or two, if you try to make copies, it won't copy that small font. It'll just create
exactly.
a line. So I'm not, hey, again, not nefarious.
No, I mean, it's definitely like Big Brother, like doing a thing to keep you from doing a thing. But like, yeah, I mean, they also made murder illegal. There are laws against murder. Now, I say that in that way just to prime you for what's coming.
written sentence that's been honed down to microscopic size. Get a magnifying glass and read on a check what is said where you sign your name.
It says authorized signature
I have
only.
discovered
That's not weird.
many years ago that words and magical systems dominate the world that we live in. There is a
Okay.
Did he say magical systems?
Magical systems.
Let's listen to it again.
I have discovered many years ago that words and magical systems dominate the world that we live in. There is
Discuss.
Words exist. I don't know about magical systems, but the micro printing has been around for a very long time. You can actually print your own checks on modern printers that will do it sometimes now. So not nefarious.
What about the magical systems, though? They might be nefarious.
That I think they probably are.
I think this guy has a lot of magical thinking. Literally, like he says that part out loud so often. Just now, I was like, he thinks there's literally a magical, like black magical system. I don't know.
There is, in point of fact, a
Oh, real
magical
quick.
matrix.
We have an Ember raid, motherfuckers. Ember, thank you for the raid. I know you're getting ready to get out of here, and I do think Ember. Oh God, where am I at? For $2 says, "Let there be more cultists." Wahaha. And right after that, she gifted us 5 more cultists.
Yes.
Ember's so awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And welcome back, Doorknob Head, James Nordoff, Al Trucker, who was very upset that he lost his membership earlier. So, hey, welcome back. And also BTF Wayne, friend of the show. Thank you. All of you, please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vaginas. And what was the other thing I wanted to say? Ember, I know that you're heading off to bed, so good night, sweet dreams. And I tried, I hung in there for your stream earlier. Holy shit, I could not, I could only stand so much of the misgendering. And like you would think it would be like, oh, we're like shitting on Blair White. Yay, let's do this. And I was just like, I still can't. She's a woman. She's a horrible woman. She's a goddamn it, she's a woman. So yeah. But good show.
At work. I've always been interested in the occult. Occult is simply a word meaning hidden. And so much of our powers in this world and the way things work are hidden. And the more...
Except for from the extremely exclusive club of YouTube audiences.
Yeah.
Not hidden there.
more one looks at this subject of how the world actually works, you begin to see that there's a magical system. And I'm telling you, there really is a magical system dominating the world of the Western civilization.
He says so.
I mean, yeah.
And for 1,000 years before the Roman Empire
Man, I hope this guy does not have a cult. Do you think this guy's... Well, this guy died recently, actually. Rest in peace. But...
existed in Northern Europe,
yeah,
basically Western Europe, there was a magical priesthood called the Druids. And the Druids still even exist to this day.
Do they?
And it was a very legitimate political, social, educational, religious institution.
Was Druidism a political, social, educational, and religious institution? I feel like the word institution implies a certain amount of organization that I am unfamiliar with Druidism possessing, but I could be wrong.
None of those things are magic.
Well, yeah, and I'm looking here, and it's just like a druid was a member of a high-ranking priestly class in ancient Celtic cultures. So I guess it depends on how you want to define institutions. There were religious leaders as well as legal authorities, educators, lore keepers, medical professionals, and political advisors.
I will submit that counts as what I was asking for. So
okay,
yeah.
Beautiful. And also, Sinister Purpose celebrates 1 month of membership, and she also, where are we at? For $5 said, on another channel, I got a man of science for deigning to suggest 1 times 1 equals 1. I love Porpoise.
Dominating Europe for thousands of years, and they were referred to as the Druids. They were actually from the Phoenician Canaanite system in the Middle East. The Phoenician Canaanites formed the basis for the ancient Druidic system, and that's even older. But
I couldn't tell if you were reacting to a fly that was flying across your field of view, or if you were just like shaking your head at the nonsense, but then you reach for a fly.
Well, it was both.
Yeah.
I shook my head and then a moth came into frame.
system, there were many powerful symbols and emblems. One of the most interesting symbols in Druidism was a magic wand, like Merlin the magician with his magic wand.
So I want to promise everybody that the main point of this video is in fact sovereign citizenry. That may not seem clear to you now, and I promise it will not seem clear to you in the future when you watch this part of the video.
Magic wands were always made out of the wood of a holly tree. It was made out of Hollywood.
Magic
And
wood was
still,
made out of the
wands
wood
were
of a
always made out of the
Magic wands were always made out of the wood of a holly tree. Now,
No, yeah,
I
I have to Google this.
if
I need
you
to drink
Google
faster,
holly
apparently.
wand, I know what's going to come up. It's going to come up 11.5 inches holly with phoenix feather core, because that is the wand that Harry Potter used. Also Hollywood, which is his point. Let's let him
wood
make
of a
the point.
holly tree. It was made out of Hollywood. And we're
Oh,
still
wait, you know what? I
seeing
don't
the
have to
magic
Google
of
this. I know exactly where he's going with this Hollywood thing.
the wood of the holly tree. Hollywood, motion pictures, television.
Oh, yeah, here we
Yeah.
go.
And once you begin to see
Yeah.
the symbols and realize that the symbols for the national coats of arms for countries, the flags, the seals, the presidential seals, the emblems
Vomiting.
for the logos and emblems are
Uh, I'm imagining Titan like receiving somebody like making an application to join the inner circle and being like, no, you don't know what's up.
in corporations, especially the
They're literally okay for 4 of these things are Google related logos, right? This is the Google
Google
Play
is evil,
symbol.
confirmed.
Oh yeah. Also, this is just a G. So I mean, it's just a G. Okay, like I'm like, yeah. I don't know what this is. I don't know what's happening here, but.
All
the
evil and
corporate
demonic
emblem-
things, I assure you, because you
Fair.
know.
Yeah.
Magical
emblems
systems.
for motion pictures and television companies like Columbia Broadcasting System. CBS has the I. The Colombian system goes back to the Colombian faction of the Illuminati back in the
I mean, there we go. Illuminati. Were you waiting for Illuminati?
Yeah.
I saw that coming a mile off, just saying.
Yeah.
early 1700s, not the late 1700s. And you begin to see why Space Shuttle is called Columbia. You have Columbia University, Columbia Pictures, Columbia Broadcasting. Columbia is a very interesting word, and it's connected to the Jesuits. Once you begin to see how words and terms and symbols are used, and of course symbols are extraordinarily important
You're
in
going
world
on way
affairs.
too long for one thing. But wait, Columbia. Wait, he's saying that it's connected to the Jesuits.
Maybe it's the Jesuits are connected to Columbia.
Yeah. Columbia used to be a term that meant the Americas generally, because it, the continents were named in part. I mean, America comes from Amerigo Vespucci, and Columbia comes from Chris Columbus. I don't know much about Amerigo Vespucci, but given the time he lived in, he probably wasn't great. Very few people were great back then. Most people
Well,
were
no, I
horrible.
mean he was a map maker, so I think he had the first maps with the Americas on it, and well, that with the lands on it. And so when other map makers were talking about it, they refer to them. You know how map makers
That
used
makes
to
sense,
use
yeah.
other like
Of
stuff
course,
from
like-
other map makers, and they
Yeah,
were like,
like-
"Oh yeah, this is the stuff that we're taking from America's maps." So these are these are America's, like the lands, like yeah, these are from
That
America's
makes
maps.
sense.
And so then they just became the Americas. So yeah, I mean that's that. But like Columbia being tied to the Catholics, I mean,
Well, I mean, he probably was
Okay.
Catholic, right? Like,
yeah,
he
that's
was-
what I'm saying. I'm like,
But
probably,
they all were.
I don't think that is.
A Jesuit doesn't necessarily Catholic doesn't necessarily mean Jesuit, though. I mean, Jesuit is a sect of Catholicism, but it is a sect of it. Like, I don't know anything else about it though.
I mean, pick a place that the Jesuits weren't trying to influence during this time.
Exactly.
Mars.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Only because they couldn't get there.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it opens up, as I said, a whole new perspective on how stuff is happening. Let me give you an example of how words, my friend,
Let me give you an example of how words. That's how the sentence started.
William Henry says you put an S in front of the word word and it becomes swords. The words are swords. They are cutting things. Humans are.
Sticks and
Yeah.
stones can break my bones.
I mean, we put letters together. That's how they work.
But like, what if you're just drinking the Kool-Aid, Joe?
I should have started drinking it an hour before this started, apparently.
Yeah.
Word responsive creatures. We respond to people's words. When you begin to see how words are used, let me give you an example of the magic. Why do you have
And this is part of his overall like main thesis. This video, as you have experienced, is a stream of consciousness of just the half disconnected ideas. But to the extent there's a through line, this guy genuinely believes in like the magical power of words, but like when he feels like it.
to go to court? Let me give you an example of the magic. Why do you have to go to court? You go to court because you play basketball on a court. You play tennis on a court. How do you play tennis on a court? You
I
play with a
hate
racket.
him
Why?
so
Because
much right now. Just saying.
Why are you like this?
I feel like this is like the number 23 thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you guys ever heard somebody say, I gotta go to court when they're talking about a basketball game or a
Never.
tennis game?
No.
No. I don't like this guy.
people that develop it know it's a racket. That's where we get the term.
I did no research on this. If the term racket and court are related in any way through the sport of tennis. I did not do any research. I've heard weirder things that are true, but the fact that he's saying it makes me think it's probably not true. Although I thought that about the check thing, and then I checked my check, and it checked out.
Consequently, you need to understand that the words which are used by the systems under which we live are not by chance. In a court, the whole idea in a court is to put the ball back in the other guy's court. So this team of attorneys, they stand up and throw the ball back at the other team. Now the ball's...
So, a court of etymolene, like the etymology website or whatever, the name is most likely from Anglo-French tenets, T-N-E-T-Z, to hold, receive, take, from Old French.
Fair?
So yeah, this guy full of shit. I am shocked. I tell you, shocked.
Well, not that shocked.
in their court. They have to get up and throw the ball back into that court. The judge wears a black robe. Why does a judge wear a black robe? Well, the same reason Catholic priests.
I have no idea why judges wear black robes. Probably because it's an easy thing to make that's very distinctive and gives them an air of gravitas that harkens back to like the ancient Greeks. That's just me like spitballing off the top of my head. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I guess they didn't always used to, but the move towards wearing only black was strengthened in 1694 when the judges of England and its American colonies donned black to mourn the death of Queen Mary II, Bloody Mary. She had jointly ruled the British nation and caused, so I guess that's when it got solidified. And before then, they were just wearing whatever color robes. And I think before this, they were just talking about the history of robes. But black robes were donned to mourn the Queen Mary, the dead Queen Mary. So I again don't know what he's
You know,
talking about.
they just carried on from there and became symbolic of a judge. I mean, they used to also wear these powdered wigs like they're showing, but they, in some places they still do.
They still do in some places.
Oh,
Which I find hilarious.
somebody made it funny. Blessed be he wants to know when we're going to have Darth Dawkins on. I would like to respond to this. Darth Dawkins, you can kiss my ass. Go fuck yourself if you watch. Somebody clip this shit and send Darth Dawkins a clip of me telling him to go fuck his fucking ass on my show. No.
I kind of want to see how long he would last if we gave him 10-second mutes. I think it would be 103 seconds. I think that's how long he would last. Oh.
That's generous.
Robes.
Yeah. I'm a generous guy, though.
Yeah.
Rabbis wear black robes. You wear a black robe. For many years, young people graduating from university and college wear a black robe. What's this stuff with a black robe? Let me give you an example of how this stuff works, and it's a very quick example. There are two basic kinds of law under the law of magic. There are two kinds of laws that govern.
Under the law of magic, there are two basic kinds of law. Okay, now that is a sentence that does not start out very well.
Right.
The earth.
And
One is called the
we don't live under the law of magic.
Well, I mean, are you not watching the video, Joe?
I know.
We live
Apparently,
under the law of magic. Okay.
law of the land, L-A-N-D. And we've heard that term
I'm so glad he spelled land for me.
law of the land. Why do you use that term, the law of the land? Because that's where people live, is on land. But there's an opposing law, which is far more important, far, far more powerful. It is
This is the part where we start to get into the Sovsit stuff. Because if you know the Sovsit stuff, you know exactly where he's going with this. We got law of the land.
Headaches. Just
called the law of
this
water.
is the part where you guys need to break out your heaviest whatever's in the house, and maybe lace it with something. It's not going to be fun. Also, for $2, Sinister Purpose says, I wore a blue and white robe at college graduation. She looked beautiful. It was awesome. Congratulations again.
I wore a red one, so
I can't remember what color I wore at college graduation, if it was blue or if it was black. I think it was black.
I think it was green. And I'm pretty sure, because I remember we had my high school colors were purple and green, which were weird, right? And then they made all the girls wear green and all the boys got to wear purple, which I fucking hated because purple is my favorite color. And then for college, it was green. The colors were green and something else. And the master's degrees got to wear whatever the other color was, and the undergrads had to fucking wear green. It's like, I already wear more green. I want to wear something else. They were like, fuck you. That's why.
Your high school colors were green and purple.
Yeah.
Was your high school mascot one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
That would have been cool as shit.
That would have been awesome.
It was developed under the old Druidic system in Europe, which can trace its history back through the Roman Empire, through the Vatican, and ultimately back to the Phoenician Canaanites in the Middle East. What we today call Phoenicia, Cana, was called back what we call today.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, we don't call anything Phoenicia anymore, do we?
no.
No, especially, because that's like something for that girly girls do. Men don't. You got the what do you call it? The primary colors, the secondary colors, and if you don't fall into that, I don't know what the fuck you are.
And Lebanon, Syria, that was called Phoenicia, Cana. And the Phoenician Canaanites, the very word Cana, which we've all heard in relation to the Bible, Cana.
Okay, but Cana is not a word in the English language. So
Oh, but
Yeah.
you know what are words in the English language? Two Guys Talking History just gifted 5 Maya Atkinson memberships. We have 5 more cultists. And you know
There we
what?
go.
I'm so excited that Two Guys Talking History are here. I love them. And you guys stream really late. So usually I listen to you while I'm getting ready for bed. But thanks for coming through. And thank you for gifting memberships to we'll just say LS because I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Alex Merkel, Chris. Oh, no. Sorry. Alex is already a member. Chris Connie, Joshua Guys, Faded to Gray, and JEM. So, welcome. Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your vaginas, and your nitties.
As a Phoenician word meaning bankers, merchant bankers. Well, the Phoenician Canaanites set up a system of merchant banking, and
what is your point, dude? You're just saying, if I give you the full benefit of the doubt, you're saying random facts. If I give you a realistic benefit of the doubt, you're saying words. Do you understand his argument, Joe?
He's like anything. He's like trying to play the game of 6 degrees of separation. Like anything he can connect to it, he's like, well, this leads to this, and this leads to this, and that word is in this word, so therefore this, it's all nefarious because of it.
Oh, it's like the crazy guy with the whiteboard and the string and what do you call it, the tinfoil hat. It's like, you got to understand that everything
Yeah,
goes back to Illuminati.
yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
had their Phoenician Canaanite symbols and words connected to their societies, their banking societies. We're talking about in the Middle East, and
So all I got from that is that his criticism, if it is a criticism, is the observation that language is connected to society. Which, yeah.
words were adopted for other things. I mean,
No. Words were adopted by the Illuminati so that they could own you. I
yeah,
mean, duh.
Something Sapir-Whorf hypothesis.
then through the Greece, and ultimately through Rome, and then into Britannia, and ultimately into this country comes an ancient Druidic, Phoenician Canaanite magical system of finance, education, and all of it is
I'm sorry, like ancient Druidic. Hold on.
Canaanite magical.
Sorry.
Ultimately into this country comes an ancient Druidic, Phoenician Canaanite magical system of finance, education.
Ancient Druidic, Phoenician, Canaanite magical system of finance.
That was a lot of goddamn bullshit in one sentence.
he just took all the things.
Wow.
all
It was
the
like,
things-
I mean, was that like a contest? Like, who could put the most bullshit into a sentence and make it sound like plausible? That was great, honestly.
Yeah.
yeah, it just
No,
Go
I mean,
ahead.
no, seriously, like an impressive level of bullshit is all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean,
And all of it is right in front of you. But if you don't understand what the words are and what the words mean, you're never going to figure out how this stuff works. We all have a
I mean, you are a living example of the consequences of that.
yeah, like figuring out how this stuff works seems to me like if you can find anything that nefarious about any word connected to another word, then it definitely applies to every bit of it. It's
Yeah.
that's why they used it, because it was nefarious.
It
Hey, are you guys? So this is new for me. Canaanite is the new anti-Semitic dog whistle for Jew, and I'm like, don't you have to like read a book to? Well, I guess Canaanite is, and wait, no. But if you read the Bible, you're not gonna connect Canaanites to the Jews. What the fuck
No,
is up with that?
you're right, you wouldn't. But you would connect them to the bad people. And then if you think that Jews are the bad people, then you're connecting them to the Jews, even though it's remarkably inappropriate because the Jews went in and like pushed out the Canaanites.
They
my
murdered the Canaanites.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then in the
Everybody
next
be
chapter
murdering
they
each
auto
other.
spawn back. So those wily Canaanites.
Yeah.
A cursory understanding of what we think is going on. That's not it. You need to understand that when even on your check, when you're
Yeah, we
writing
already-
on name on, that is written. It's a typed
We already saw
written
that.
sentence that's
Yeah.
been honed down to microscopic size. Get a magnifying glass and read on a check what is said where you sign your name.
It's, by the way, he keeps on saying this. He never does it. He never goes in and actually shows you. Like, he did it earlier, actually. Well, maybe he did.
Wait, does
But-
what?
Like, zooms in. He never grabs a check and then, like, puts it under a microscope or something and does it. Like, he.
Yeah, I mean,
he
I don't
finds these
expect him to do
pictures,
his
but-
own checks, but this is like
I did it.
no. Yeah, off camera though, you know, by rights. But like, this is like clearly like taken off of like, I don't know, like it's a blank check. So
Yeah. If I had a blank check, I probably would do it. I looked for my checkbook, but I haven't used it in a year, so.
yeah, mine's around here somewhere, I'm sure.
I don't understand how he thinks that's nefarious, though, because even if it's connected to all those things, like if you go buy blank check stock from Office Depot or wherever, it has this micro printing on it as a security feature so that you can't just copy checks and have multiple ones. I mean, it doesn't mean anything that it's there. If it wasn't there, so what? If it doesn't mean anything.
Your
Well,
logic
I mean-
is undeniable, and they deny it.
I mean, I've only drank 3/4 of a bottle of wine so far, so maybe I'm just not in the right magical system yet.
Could be.
Yeah.
Name. That's why the attorneys tell you better check the small print. The small print is ultra small. Where you sign your name on a check is saying something. Go back and read it. You need to understand that according to the old Phoenician Canaanite system, which we call today our educational and judicial system,
I mean, that's not
There
a
is
thing
no
though.
law.
Do we call it that?
Do we call what? Do we call
Yeah.
our current version of the Phoenician Canaanite system the judicial system? Probably not. I don't know. I mean, do we have a judicial system, and do we
I
call
think he's
it?
saying that the judicial system is the old.
Yes, that's what he's saying, and that's
Yeah.
not true.
Exactly. That's my only point. That's my only point. And like, I don't understand why he thinks thoughts.
Does he? I mean, can we call them that?
law in this country or in the Western world, no law, federal, state, county, city, commercial, it makes no difference. There is no law on the books anywhere in this country that applies to you as an individual creature. Commercial, it makes
That's
no difference.
actually
There is
very
no-
untrue. All
Yeah.
lie. Almost all the laws apply. Any law that applies to you as an individual creature. If you want to be considered as a business, then you need to actually establish one. I believe the lowest level is an LLC. God damn it.
But the Druid symbols, Maya.
Oh, silly me. I keep forgetting. Damn girl brain.
Yeah.
I find this a remarkable statement because this is a much stronger statement than you usually get from sovereign citizens. They normally won't just say like no law. They might say no statute, which is very similar but slightly different, but they won't say no law because most of them will still abide by common law. Or they at least will say they will. This guy's just like no law applies. None of the laws, there is no law that applies. That is a very definitive statement. And it bugs me how much, after he says that, he will talk about laws as though they matter. I'm like, you don't think laws matter? Why do you keep on bringing up laws in ways that aren't directly in support of that position?
So let me just ask something real quick. Like if I give you the rules to a game of chess, and then you say, "Well, the word chess was used by the Jesuits to murder people," does that mean you don't have to follow the rules of the game? I don't think it does.
No, but I do think it means that if you say any of this to a cop, he might break out his window breaker.
I love those videos. I don't like cops. Okay, I don't like cops, but I'm on the cop side when they break a sovereign citizen's window because they're allowed to ask for your license and registration when they pull you over for a
And
legitimate
even when they're
reason.
not, just
And
don't piss off cops.
If
This is
yeah,
sound
don't piss off
advice.
cops. Yeah,
if I
don't piss
sorry,
off cops. Go on.
if I watch a video and I see a cop pull someone over and he says, "I'm traveling," I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'm watching this. This guy's getting his
Yes.
ass beat."
Well, yeah. I mean, I hope they don't beat his ass. That's like not okay. But I do hope they break his window.
It's already happened. I just want to see it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's pretty good logic, actually. Damn.
Law on the books anywhere in the country that applies to you as an individual creature. There is no law because the people who designed the system thousands of years ago realized that there's two of you. There's the one that your mother gave birth to, that God created, so to speak, and even your mother didn't know what you were.
Okay,
No.
so there's no law that applies to us, the creature, because there's two of us. I
And
think
something
this
about a
guy might
battlefield.
have double vision. I'm not sure what's
What?
happening. There's two of us. There's like us, the person that was given birth to and that is God made, and then there is like the corporation, us, that is a legal fiction, as it were.
Magical system.
Doing. Even your father and your mother have no idea what you're thinking or what you will do. You don't even know. So consequently, they have no control over you, your flesh and blood self. But somebody has to control this show, and so consequently, the ancient Phoenician Canaanites.
They. Okay, so because somebody has to control the show, the ancient Phoenician Canaanites, it does kind of sound like a dog whistle. That, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, but
develop a system by which they would assign to every person a second you. And this is the way it works in America. There is two
okay. What?
No.
Okay.
of you. Just as there are two states in this country, of every state is two states. You have the state of Nevada and Nevada State.
This.
I don't think that's true.
I
Wait, is he talking about like colleges where there's like
No, I don't know what he's talking about. That is a common mistake that people make. I remember having to have that explained to me at some age. That University of blank and blank state and like blank state university or whatever. It was, there's a lot of ways that you could be redundant in naming a thing, but like everybody knows what Nevada is, okay?
the state of Nevada is Nevada State.
I mean, it's used that way depending on the grammar. It's not two things. It's used two different ways depending on how you're speaking of it.
So it's like the state of Nevada, the person, and Nevada State is the corporation. Like what the fuck is he talking about here?
I have no idea. I don't know when you would say Nevada State unless you are referring to like a college, because that's like pretty typical. But
Porpoise likes trolling me.
yeah, I mean,
they're both describing the same landmass.
When you fill out what country you're from, if you are from the United States, the name of our country is not the United States or United States. It is you. I don't know if it has the word "the" in front of it or not, but it's United States of America. However, on an official form, you can put just United States, and you're fine. You're fine. You're not. You're fine. Okay, and you're doing it under penalty of perjury and everything, all the stuff. If they know what you mean, it counts. That is how society works. That is how communication works, literally almost by definition.
Jay is a liar. He went to the state pen.
Wow.
I troll Jay.
You have Cal State, California State, and State of California. Not the same thing at all. California State, according to the law, is one thing. State of California is totally different. Has nothing to do with each other at all.
No
It's the difference
explanation
between being a
provided here.
lawyer and an attorney.
That's basically not a difference.
No.
I Googled in American language. It's basically not a difference. There are
There's not, yeah. I mean, if I refuse to speak because I want to talk to my lawyer, or refuse to speak because I want to talk to my attorney, it's same goddamn thing.
those
Same
are
guy.
yes.
Yeah.
I do I Googled it earlier, and based on the results of that, it does seem like there was a time, and there may still be places where there is a more clear distinction. Lawyer is a more general term, and an attorney is somebody who is licensed to practice in a particular context. So you might be a lawyer in general, but you might only be an attorney in one state, I suppose. But the other point that all of the sources made was that there's actually not really a difference, and you're getting really pedantic if you apply that, because nobody does that. Because
Yeah, it's saying that
they do
once
the same thing.
once a lawyer is licensed, we usually refer to them as an attorney. So, I mean, I guess
Yeah,
technically everybody's a lawyer, but once you pass the bar,
yeah,
get licensed in your state, you're an attorney.
yeah.
But
It's more about connotation, though. It's
mhm.
more about, like, it's one of those things where exactly, if you're asking for a lawyer or you're asking for an attorney, you're invoking
You're
the
asking for a
relevant right.
licensed,
Yeah.
a licensed lawyer, which, yeah, so it could be, yeah,
But
I
but
think
so
attorney is the professional term. Like,
it's the more technical and, like, precise term, and
yeah,
it's yeah, because the thing is, like, a lawyer who is in a place where they're not licensed to practice doesn't have they may have a few rights that your general person doesn't have, like, in a courtroom, because they do have a bar number somewhere. But
yeah. So it's saying that the major
there's
difference is that attorneys can represent clients in court and other legal proceedings, while lawyers cannot. So when we're talking about, like, Google has lawyers on staff. Well, no, there's probably attorneys. Well, no, they would probably have separate. You would probably have a legal department of lawyers, and then separate attorneys, like, outside that you keep on retainer to represent you in court if needed. Hopefully, you're not getting sued like 6 ways from Sundays, where you have, like, a legal staff of attorneys, unless you're a law firm.
I
But
only have one attorney, because
yeah,
I only get sued, like, once a year, so I think that's pretty good. I love the awkward silence after you say something like that.
Has
I mean,
nothing
it's
to do
on
with
you.
the,
You can hit the play button at any time.
I already did, and then I paused because you were speaking.
at all. It's totally separate words, means totally separate things. Consequently, when you understand how words and terms are used and symbols are used, then we go back to the idea of the court. And as I said, there is no law in this country on any books that applies to you. None. All law in the Western civilization applies only to cooperations, co-ops.
What the fuck does that even mean?
It means that all law in Western civilization applies only to co-ops, Maya.
That's what he said is not a co-op.
Well, he hasn't gotten to the parts that it does apply to.
Well,
He's only talked about what it doesn't apply to, which is, us and you and them and
Are
everybody.
we co-ops?
apparently.
Well, okay, so due to my status as a high-tech trench coat run by weasels, I'm in a different situation than most, and would choose to remain silent.
Joe.
So the first thing he said whenever we started back was that the way that these words are used, but he's not talking about the way these words are actually used. He's talking about putting other connotations on them because of past events thousands of years ago that are 3 steps removed from the actual word. So he's that's a lie. It's not how these words are actually used. How they are used is how they are used, not what he's saying.
I mean, that's being more generous. I thought that he was making shit up.
Oh, for sure.
A genuine possibility.
All law applies only to corporations, period. Across the board. No other, end of sentence.
All law applies only to corporations.
False.
Consequently, there is no law that applies to you personally, so consequently, the system has made each one of you a corporation. And
All right, people, this is not going to get you out of trouble in a court of law.
Yeah.
Then why did they rule that corporations are people if they're the same thing?
Oh, God. Well, whether or not corporations are people actually doesn't apply to the point he's making, which is that people don't have laws that apply to them, which is just not true.
Actually, maybe because corporations don't get sued because they're people, unlike the rest of us schmucks who are corporations. Wait, no, that's not right.
I mean, it feels almost like the conclusion.
Yeah.
How now do you distinguish which one, when someone's addressing you, that they're addressing you as the one that your mother gave birth to, or the corporate you?
Well, because it's not around. When you guys are talking to me, I'm not like, hold on, is the corporate me? It's not here. Why are we worried about this? Does it talk?
Well, the personal me has an opinion, but the corporate me does not.
The corporate you doesn't exist. And it can disagree with me if it wants to. I would probably find that shocking and mentally destabilizing. I'm not gonna lie. But I think that's a perfectly healthy reaction. I think there are things that should mentally destabilize you.
Yeah, it does it. But here's the thing: like he says, the corporate you and the personal you that your mother gave birth to. It doesn't matter if you want to refer to it as the corporate you or the state of you or the you state or Canaanite or whatever you want to call yourself. It's still the same agency. You're still talking about the same thing no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Call yourself whatever you want. It doesn't absolve you from following the rules that we've all agreed on.
Yeah, but they didn't agree though. And the thing is, that's one of the like hard, fast rules about a functional society is that you don't have to agree to all the rules. Right. Otherwise, I don't see how you make a functional society where everybody has to actually agree to all the rules that they are held to. That's not how it works. And if you refuse, that doesn't mean I'm defending any grand hierarchical and unjust system. It means I know that if people decide I don't have to obey anybody else's law,
Yeah.
If other people think that's valid, things go bad pretty quick.
Right. Well, I mean, whether you make the conscious decision to cross the imaginary line into a state or country where they have certain rules, or whether you're there and born there and whatever, I mean, within those imaginary lines, those laws apply. So they don't require that you accept them, just being within
Yeah.
the jurisdiction of them.
I have no plans to ever visit Singapore.
Right.
They have very strict laws.
I do want to thank Robin Webster for celebrating 5 months of membership with us. Thank you, thank you. And then also for $2, Robert says, is he pushing identity theft?
Well, I think he's saying that like society has committed identity theft against all of its citizens, and that it exists as this legal, all capital letters fiction. I don't know if he's mentioned that part, but that's what they like. They spend a lot of time on typography, and I'm like, bro, if you think that you as an individual are actually reducible to letters in the first place, then I mean,
if here's
you've got
if
problems anyway. But
if
that's how
none of the
logistics work.
if none of the laws apply to any of us, then what are they for if they don't apply to anyone? Right? Because that's
Therefore,
what he's saying. None of
but
the laws apply to you personally. You know,
They
so
apply to you, the corporation.
which doesn't have to accept responsibility for anything apparently.
well, I certainly have no control over what me, the corporation, does. I'm not convinced it exists.
Yeah.
So
Why do we have laws if they don't apply to anyone personally?
because that's their way of like, pulling the wool over your eyes or something, man.
Oh, but I did accidentally skip Vandalia's message here, and I do want to say this for $4.99. Vandalia says, I always assumed lawyers were more defensive while attorneys were the prosecutor ones, but I know nothing about law.
Interesting.
Apparently none of us do, because all of this is news to everyone.
But we are honest folk, and actually, like, I Googled that. That's why we had the whole conversation about the thing. Because I would have just been like, they're the same. But I was like, you know what? They're pedantic enough that they might not be actually totally, completely the same.
I've
And
been to,
I was right. They
I've
are.
I've been to court more than your average person or any 10 of them,
Playing
and
tennis?
judges always refer to your lawyer as attorney. It seems to be like that is the technical term, so to speak, that is
Yeah,
used. You know, they
I agree.
yeah.
All right. And I'm sure you've only been there for good things.
Always.
Eric Wanderer gifted us 5 more cult members. And I do want to welcome William Hawkins, Olivia Williams, Lionheart Media, Tenebrous Scent, and Jesse Van Spiker Mallet. I'm sorry if I butchered any of those, but welcome, welcome. Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vaginas.
Very simple. According to British law, when you sign your name, upper and lower case,
I love how pretentious does this guy look? Like, looking down their nose at you, thrusting them. I don't know.
that is applying to your body. Your flesh and blood self is
Oh, I know
spelled
that.
according to
That
British.
is the alpha man stance, dick to the world.
I feel like it's one of those find the difference things where you're going to circle the differences in the pictures.
Yeah, but it's only going to be in the name type setting.
Right.
See,
In
Martinez, what's
American
up?
law,
Yeah.
upper and lower case, capital letter, lowercase. That's you, your personal self. There is no law that can be applied to an upper and lowercase name. Period. No law.
Why?
They don't charge your name with crumbs.
this is just
Oh, I know
magic.
the. Oh, yeah, like you were saying earlier, word magic. You have to know
Mhm.
the magical combination of the letters so that you can get out of the speeding ticket.
That is literally what a lot of them believe. They believe that if you go in with the right words, there are whole websites that are typeset in this ridiculous punctuation. They just do weird punctuation because they think it has technical, magical, legal meaning. And it's so weird. And it's a like the prevalence of it is somewhat recent. I think it's probably a product of the internet in the same way that flat earthers um are a lot more prevalent with the internet and stuff. But not much was really known about it, about the sovereign citizen and the free man on the land movement. That's what it's like called in Canada, until 2012, when a Canadian in British Columbia, a Canadian judge wrote an extensive opinion that was very clearly meant to be like a manual for how this worked in the past, in a case called Meads versus Meads, which was a divorce case. It was just like randomly a divorce case, and this guy was like, you know what, I gotta put a stop to this, and I gotta like let people know what's up with this. And he did all this research and wrote a super long opinion, and it is my favorite judicial opinion ever, even though it's not even from my country. So you guys should go and read about Meads versus Meads. Okay, I'm sorry. I
Also,
know.
bad Northern chimp. This is bullshit. That does makes no difference in America.
Yeah. Yeah, no, none of this is real.
At all can be applied to an upper and lowercase name because there is no law over you. Therefore, every piece of important bills, insurance, driver's license, identification, taxes, I don't care what it is, if it's a piece of business, period, in any kind of way, shape, or form, your name must, by law, international maritime admiralty banking law, your name must appear in all capital letters.
That's not true.
I Even if it is true, it would be true for reasons that have nothing to do with the presence of a fictional entity. It would be like literally that would be because of reasons as banal as standardizing typesetting so that people don't have to learn, because if you don't, if you come from a place that doesn't necessarily interact that much with Roman lettering, then you might not recognize, asking somebody to recognize all of the lowercase letters as well as all of the uppercase letters um is a lot tougher. And so standardizing how things are presented in certain contexts makes sense for very banal reasons like that. um
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's I understand that it does make sense to have that, and like why you could say that that's the standard way, but it's just
it, it
that's just not
also
the case.
it also doesn't matter. Yeah, it's also
Right.
just not true.
Yeah.
So,
it
yeah, what it's saying is that during the 20th century, the U.S. looked to promote more uniform laws. The Bar Association pursued this goal by publishing books of suggested laws. So, under suggestions, we're using all caps for business names to make, like, to put in agreements to make it more conspicuous.
yeah.
Um, but it doesn't, it's a best practice. And
Yeah.
again, even if it were like this, I don't know, it's a long article and I'm not trying to make the, we're already more than halfway through the stream, but just saying, even if like, let's say it's a requirement, like your document is invalid if the business doesn't capitalize its name, does not mean that if I also capitalize my name when signing a business document that that I'm becoming a corporation or that I am now a legal entity. I mean, it's a ridiculous argument.
Many times legal documents, the whole thing is all capital letters. They, and that's just again for standardization. It's not It's
Yeah.
not a law that it be that way. They just do that for.
If you if you um are out and you know you don't have a computer, even if you do have a computer and you choose not to use it, you choose to do this. If you decide to hire somebody to do a specific job like weed your garden or something, and you write out a contract on paper and you just use whatever your handwriting is, which is probably terrible because my handwriting is terrible, and you know all that, and you both do the thing and like you sign it and all that. That is legal, like, and then the guy goes out and weeds your garden. I'm pretty sure that's legally binding.
Oh yeah.
That's how contracts work. It didn't suddenly become different and magical when
Titan, come back in
Type
1
said he
month.
listened to-
Come back in 1 month.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
You will never get a bill or anything
Sorry for
that
cutting
has
you
your
off.
name upper and lowercase because there is no law that applies to an upper and
Basically.
lowercase name, period. So
No law, period.
if Sears is going to send you a bill, if you go into
This is a hilarious sentence, okay?
Yeah.
period. So if Sears is going to send you a bill, if you go into Baskin Robbins or Sears and you order a pair of shoes, what are you going to
If you go into a Baskin Robbins or a Sears and you order a pair of shoes, can you order shoes at Baskin Robbins? Are you wearing the stuff that you buy at Baskin Robbins, my guy? Like
Is it like
on your
one of those
feet?
little, like, ice cream cups that they're in the shape of shoes? Because I don't know. I don't know that I've gotten shoes that way, but like, yeah, those little baseball caps. And then they fill it with ice cream and you get the chocolate and the sprinkles and it makes you happy.
Yeah, but you eat it, right? You don't put it on your feet. Unless you're doing activities and somebody else is eating it off your feet. Like I can imagine, but
God, this is a wholesome family show, Doctor.
it's really not. It's really not, Maya.
bill? If you go into Baskin Robbins or Sears and you order a pair of shoes, what are you going to do? They're going to give you a ticket.
They're gonna give you. So if you go into Baskin
Where?
Robbins and order a pair of shoes, they're going to give you a ticket.
I've never walked into a
And you
store
go-
and said, "Hey, I'd like to order a pair of shoes."
No, but like I'm willing to give him that amount of like conversational charity, because I have the Baskin Robbins bit to focus on.
I do want to welcome back Jester, Lord of Fools, 5 months memberships. Much love to Jester. Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties and vaginas.
Going to put it on your bill, and then they're expecting you to pay the bill.
If I don't think they are at Baskin Robbins. When I order shoes, I don't think they're expecting me to pay the bill.
And consequently, they're going to charge you. Well, that's the same thing. You go into a courtroom. They're going to read out
Exactly, two guys talking history.
the charges, and the cop gave you the ticket, and you have been charged with speeding or whatever, and therefore you have to pay the charge. Well, once you understand that in America, according to our laws in America, you cannot
Okay, see, why are you bringing up our laws in America? None of them apply to any of us at all. So why, like, a big part of me wants to just like skip this.
Let me point out what he's doing here, though, because he's using like the colloquial terms and then mixing them with the actual legal terms. Because a cop does not give you a ticket; you get a citation. That is the legal term for what a cop gives you. But then he wants to go and say, in a court, you're given a ticket, and then refer to the ticket that you're given for your shoes, which isn't a ticket at all. It's called a receipt. They're not the same things. He's purposely misusing words here and misrepresenting what things actually are to make his case.
I am shocked.
Yeah.
But I do want to welcome back Mark Reed to the cult for 4 months of memberships. Mark, thank you. And please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vaginas. Also, Jester, Lord of Fools says, PSA, the cops won't be shooting Corporation You.
No, they won't, because it doesn't exist. You're all that's there to stop that bullet.
Not pay a bill. Did you know that? According to international banking law, Americans cannot. You know that? That in America, according to our laws in America, you cannot.
According to our laws in America, you cannot pay a bill, is the sentence that I just interrupted to say that.
Not pay a bill. Did you know that? According
Now, the next sentence. According to
international banking law.
My guy, make up your mind. Is it according to American law or is it according to international banking law?
He's already said those laws are not our laws. They don't apply to us. So why do they now?
Yeah.
Americans cannot pay a bill. So when you say, well, I got to pay this, I'll pay that bill, well, that's a term that we use. But in point of fact, lawfully, you cannot pay
This
a bill.
doesn't mean anything.
You can discharge a debt. You cannot pay a bill. So consequently, you need to understand, what do you mean discharge a debt? Now it gets back to the court again.
What are you talking about? You believe
And it's
in
false.
magic words. And people who believe that certain words in certain contexts have definitive meanings do not necessarily believe in magic words, because you can have a law that states our definition of this word is this, and then they have a couple, like a sentence or two that explain it. Laws tend to be, they tend to be clearer than normal language when you sit down and actually look at them and give them, like, you know, because they're precise and a little bit stilted. But when they're not clear, it's a huge problem.
I think it's very interesting that a quarter of the chat is taking on their corporation side of their citizenship and choosing to bypass liking the buttons. So you don't have to hit the like button. You can also hit the don't like button.
If you don't hit the like button, I am going to feel personally really sad, and it's going to bother me all week, chat. Okay? And that's me
Maybe say
guilting
if
you. I want to be clear.
Yeah, you need to say, like, if you do hit the like button.
No. I'm
you know how they are.
I'm trying to be emotionally distressing to you, chat, because that's what friends do, right? Wait, hold on.
I'm going to be upset with the corporation you.
Now it gets back to the symbols and emblems of why the judge wears a black robe. It has to do with the planet Saturn. Saturn is the god that inhibits. He's the inhibitor and the law god, the god of law who
So
inhibits.
Saturn
who
is
holds
an
back,
actual real god
holds-
who is inhibiting what?
He's inhibiting us with laws by being like, you're not allowed to, like, murder folk, and, like, just totally cramping our style. Why are you like this?
Me or him?
Him.
Ah.
I'm confused.
It's like this is me every week, man, and I don't know what to do about it. It makes me sad.
holds back
Oh,
everything. It teaches you
I'm sorry. I totally
Oh my
didn't see
god, god
this.
damn it.
Spooky is a very important question.
No, they don't. Oh.
I like asking for a friend part.
You can have them as a friend, you can have me as a friend. Choose one, Spooky.
you a lesson the hard way. Saturn And women were told in the ancient world to listen to their god Saturn, who incidentally was called Lord of the Rings. Okay?
I tried to look this up. I don't think Saturn was called the Lord of the Rings back then. Is there any context in which Saturn was, in ancient times, called the Lord of the Rings? I
Well,
don't
listen,
think so.
but
I don't think it was ever
Saturn
called that before Galileo.
Saturn means Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings had hobbits, which had big feet, and people have feet. So since people have feet, they don't have to obey the laws because the laws aren't for feet; they're for people. I'm
I
good at
found
this.
that to be unassailable logic. Right? Maya, what do you think? You think, yeah.
Uh, yeah.
And consequently, they're still making movies in Hollywood on Lord of the Rings, the planet Saturn. Women were told to listen to their god, the Lord of the Rings, so they were wearing an ear ring. Men were to get married before Saturn, their god, so they would wear a wedding ring.
I'm pretty
Wait,
sure.
what?
I was close.
So the fact that they were wearing rings is worshiping Saturn. I don't think there was any association of Saturn and rings before Galileo. I think I'm pretty sure he was the first, or at least in that time period, they were the first to observe that sort of thing in a way that at least spread out and became well known. I could be wrong. There might be astronomers in the Arabic world or like in China or India that did that earlier.
Earrings and rings are not related.
You're right. Like it's a thing you have to like go through, and so it's going to have to connect. Topologically, it's going to be a ring. You don't have a choice there. But that's not true. You could do a stud. If it
Right.
doesn't connect, then yeah. Then that's topologically a sphere.
All right, so it
Consequently,
says
the king
that the first wedding rings can be tracked back to ancient Egyptians when they exchanged. I cannot talk. God, you know what? It's not the wine. It's just 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock is just my kryptonite. The first wedding rings can be traced back to ancient Egyptians when they exchanged rings made from braided reeds and hemp. They placed the rings on the fourth finger of the left hand as they believed there was a vein of love that ran from this finger directly to your heart. I don't know what this fucker's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, none of us do. Sinister Porpoise is got my back. Yeah, they're not associated. Yes, thank you.
But Saturn has
was he crowned?
rings. Therefore,
And you can see them
Right.
with
all
a fairly basic
circles are
telescope.
Saturn. God.
Yeah.
Before Saturn. Saturn would be the round crown or the corona, the ring. Saturn, the god who is the inhibitor, the god of occult law, the mystical god Saturn, Lord of the Rings, who is in charge of and controls all occult law in the universe.
All occult law. I mean, I also control all occult law in the universe. It's easy to control an empty set.
Joe.
Oh no, Joe! Joe, do you have DoorDash? I've done that.
I've done that on the show, yeah.
I've absolutely ordered alcohol on the show and picked it up. I don't think I've ever mentioned it before now, but I have absolutely done that.
Oh,
This
we're
is
only
why-
15 minutes in. Well, to the video, not the.
We're not. Yeah, we're not. I don't think we're gonna finish the whole thing.
No, yeah, and I'm not worried about it. I'm just like I'm worried about Joe. we still have like 40 minutes left of the stream, and he's out of wine.
Hold on,
My worst
I'm
nightmare. That's why I keep backup wine. Amateurs.
Yeah, I didn't have a backup wine. That's
Yeah,
Rookie move.
I'm doing all right.
yeah.
I'm gonna. So Titan has a request.
Is it eating babies? Oh wait.
No, he wants to hear me say, my precious, or something along those lines. He wanted to hear me say, precious, precious. I think I did that work for you, Titan. I can do another take. I can do
Titan,
it
did you clip that?
in a more
We
princessy
need to.
way if you want.
Yeah,
It was
here we
pretty
go.
good.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Here we go.
I'm
here
not
you go.
sure.
Here
I'm
you
not
go.
sure that like would.
Yeah, go.
Precious. Titan Uranus is my most precious moderator. There we go. I don't have any moderators for the record, okay? Because I don't make content.
For $2, Robin Webster says Saturn's rings were discovered in 1610 per Google.
Google's magical.
I think that sounds like
Yeah, everything I've been saying
definitely
today
a
has been
correct
courtesy of Google. You think I just know like it's random ass bullshit off the top of my head. But I don't like, just making stuff up. So yeah, thanks. Thank the Not God Worldview for Google.
Today, we know that Saturn was referred to as El. El. El is a name that was given to the planet Saturn. And therefore, if you were worshiping Saturn,
It
you
is
represent the law,
not.
you are referred to in church
No.
today as an elder.
Oh yeah, I think
All right.
I don't have to Google this, right? I think we all of us are subbed to a doctor or something, like whether it's Dr. Kip, Dr. Josh, Myth Vision Podcast. Like, we all know that Saturn is not L. Like, I mean, holy fucking shit.
I think Saturn is totally L, okay? And you can trust me, I'm a doctor.
But he's talking about Saturn the god. So what?
Tapioca Weasel has gone off the deep end. Can't be having that degree of misinformation and extreme. Should I let him back on?
I don't know. Yeah, he
Well,
can't be
that I
trusted.
believe. And we're just like talking to ourselves about what he's saying because nobody in the chat can hear him. Which is funny. Oh wait. Okay. All right. What do you think, Joe?
Well, as long
Can't be
as he
having all this
promises,
dead air. Not that I mean, I don't know. Because again,
as
they
long as
can't
he
hear him.
promises to accept the magical systems of El.
Ah, yes. You must promise to accept the magical systems of El. And stop typing in the chat. Anything that comes up under my name is not me. The weasel has gotten into.
Don't make us time you out too.
I actually don't. Hold on. Yeah, okay, I guess you can.
Worshipping Saturn.
Oh, by the way, we're talking about Saturn equals L, and he's going to go off on a whole bunch of linguistic language nonsense. It's going to be great. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be great.
You represent the law, you are referred to in church today as an elder. How did you get to be an elder? You got to be an elder.
You got a position or you got old. I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
It's elder, not elder.
Yeah. You know what? And I'm not even going to go in. I'm not even going to go Google the etymology of all of these words because we're all just going to, I mean, unless somebody needs that in their life, in which case I'm just going to send you a link to Google and you can do it yourself because like, holy shit, this is just batshit crazy. And for $2, the Sinister Purpose says, for this guy's Saturnalia gift. Yeah, elder comes from El because Saturn exists. That makes total sense to me.
Older because you were one of the elites. How did you get to be an elite? You got elected because through.
Let me tell you, I was born being an elite, okay? My name is Vandergraaf and I went into physics, okay?
Yeah, that it was like totally the best comment ever.
I don't know why she said that. I was just backstage being very polite.
Through elections. All of our system is based on occult, mystical words and terms going back to the planet Saturn, going back to the Phoenician Canaanite system of banking. Incidentally, where do you find a bank? We go to banks all the time. Where do you find a bank? Banks are on both sides of a
Where do you find a bank?
L11.
I banks are on both sides of the road. Sometimes
I know, on like downtown on the L block. I don't what the fuck
El
you're-
the
Paso.
L block.
Oh, probably.
You take the L or something like Avenue L.
Elementary schools.
Hopefully this guy isn't allowed near them. I mean, hopefully he's not allowed near like most people. Like, hopefully he's locked up somewhere. Oh wait, did I just endorse the carceral state? I'm a bad person.
river. They're called river banks. What does a river bank do? It directs
I feel like I don't. If I'm looking for a bank, I don't. Oh no, he's just making. Why are you like this?
Yeah,
Why?
we
the
find
flow.
banks by the river.
Now I get it. It took me a while. I don't like this person. I don't like.
No,
the
this
chat.
is like, yeah, this is like insanely bad. like worse than most of the nonsense that we've heard. And we just came like fresh off like a Terrence Howard stream and a Billy, oh God, what was that other guy?
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, and we have Roger, and Gina.
I'm not gonna
like,
lie though.
and this is like particularly bad.
Yeah, I'm
Terrence
not gonna
Howard
lie.
even
I'm
took
not
this
gonna
stuff
lie.
bullshit.
The Terrence Howard 1 × 1 equals 2. I genuinely do consider that to be the stupidest thing. That
I know you do. I know you do.
Yeah, not necessarily the most problematic thing, but the stupidest.
of the currency. Your money is referred to as the currency. This is why when you go to court, you have the current electricity.
What?
Because it's the juice. And if you
Wow.
don't have the juice,
That was amazing.
Amazing.
Very.
you don't have it. So if you don't have the juice, you can't capitalize. And capital
Okay, well, this is definitely anti-Semitic.
is a Latin word meaning money. There's a very sinister, frightening, interesting symbolism that has been imposed upon this country, and the people have no idea in the world what's going on. All
Is it magical symbolism? I bet it is.
Obviously, yeah.
goes back to the Phoenician
Why did you do that?
Canaanite system and ancient Phoenicia, ancient Babylonian Sumeria, and this is why the work of Zechariah Sitchin is so important. This is where the kings of England get their concept of the divine right of kings. What are you talking about, divine right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't currently get that concept, because I'm pretty sure that the current monarchy in England and Britain and whatnot is not all about the divine right of kings for absolute rule, because
Yeah, but decks of cards have kings, and cards.
that made more sense than what I said. Oh, it's Shakespeare, right? Or is that just one of the Henrys or something? No, that's not Shakespeare.
Right. All of this is part of a subject which I call
It's not
ancient
Elvis.
mysticism that dominates the Western civilization. After the change of the century, coming into
Is that Biden?
Oh, hey. So we had a time traveling Trump. Is this a time traveling Biden? That would be
That looks like,
I think
that
that's
looks like a
Roosevelt,
time traveling Biden, right?
or
No.
Franklin rather.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Franklin Roosevelt.
Could be that. Yeah.
1900s decided they wanted to expand. They got so much money and they're doing so well. They thought maybe we could expand the business, move the corporation out a little bit. Let's expand business. Let's go to Germany or Europe and open up a big corporation there and take in their corporation, their government. We'll take them over.
He's not wrong. There's a lot of people being like, "Hey, let's go to this country and like expand this corporation." But
Yeah, but like, are we saying that we want to go to the country and turn the country into a corporation? I think
Well,
that's what he's
well,
saying.
to be fair, if you look at banana republics, it's
I hate
not.
you so much.
I'm,
Don't
but,
are you gonna make me kick you? You're gonna make me kick you, aren't you?
is there anything I can say here that I don't get kicked?
Just hit the goddamn play
L.
button.
It would have been so much funnier if you had kicked me right at the perfect time during that sentence, Maya. All I'm saying.
And the German said, "Hey, Jack, you know, it's like a mafia. What are you coming over here? You're gonna buy me? I'll buy you. You don't buy me." Like the Godfather movie. And the American corporation, British American corporation, said, "Unfortunately, maybe you didn't understand. Let me restate it so you understand. I didn't ask you. I'm telling you. We're moving in here. It's called a corporate takeover." And so there was a hostile corporate takeover where the American corporation decided they want to go take over in Europe, and they didn't want to be taken.
I don't think that's actually what happened.
Yeah, probably not. But are you saying that this guy is not a trustworthy source of information? I should put my glasses back on. It's easier to read.
Well, okay, so I didn't say that. What I actually said was he's full of shit.
Ah, okay.
But I can see how you got there.
Yeah.
Europe is a continent, and continents contain countries, and containers are used to put things in. And since you put things in those containers, that's
See,
also
Joe,
what they did back in the Phoenician, Canaanite, magical library word. L. Listen.
Yeah.
yeah, Joe. See, I like Joe. He's got a string. I don't. Is it a green board? Oh, take that whiteboard. Fuck you.
That sounds like reverse. Okay, I'm gonna stop. That sentence.
Taken over. Well, it's too bad. Take over anyway. So they called it a hostile corporate takeover. We call it World War One. So the corporation.
World War I. Obviously, that time the corporation of the United States waged war on the corporation of Europe. Or
Fuck around and find out.
Apparently. I mean, it would explain why it's called World War One. I mean,
Yeah.
America would be like, "Oh yeah, if we're involved, it's the entire world, right?" So
that actually is a fair concept.
yeah.
Lord of the
Holy
Rings.
shit.
Called United States was able to overthrow the existing corporate order in Europe, but it cost a lot of money. They had to build a lot of tanks and jeeps and pay a lot of people, and the corporation, well, they were successful. They did what they wanted to do, but they went broke.
What did they want to do? Did they want to go broke? Because if they were successful and they did what they wanted to do and they also went broke, I imagine they wanted to go broke. So
Also, he's wrong, but never mind that about the tanks things. But never mind.
go on.
Well,
Seriously, I don't know about this.
there were a few tanks in World War One, but tanks were a product more so of World War One. They weren't like the main force used in World War One.
So that's like they were a product. They were driven in part, at least, by like the development of trench warfare, which like was
Yes.
only successful in a very particular sort of niche of technological development in terms of warfare's history. Because once you have tanks, it kind of stops working, I think, mostly. I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah,
Doing.
Wayne's
So when
making
they-
way more sense than this guy.
I don't remember. See, like, I do not remember the United States being a particularly important part of the July crisis.
No, it's just hit the play button.
went broke doing it, and then the bankers pulled their money out in '29. We had something called
I-
a stock market crash because the corporation spent so much money they went broke. So the international banker says, "Well, if you're broke, what are you coming to me for? I'm not going to loan you money if you're broke." And so
Well, if you're really, really crazy, like super, super duper crazy broke, they lend you money. Because
Yeah.
that means, like, if you have a 9-digit deficit, you can probably still get a loan. It's crazy. If you have, like, $10,000 deficit, like a normal person might have, if they, like, have stuff pile up, you're SOL. They don't care about you because
Never mind, that's not why the depression happened.
Wayne, it's like this is your first stream.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have stuck to just stringing together random words. My
you
bad.
know. Here's the thing, though. This is exactly the stream where you should get like nerd out and go into crazy detail of exactly why that's not what happened. Because I don't know much about, I don't know, like Black Sunday or Tuesday or
so-
whatever.
So, okay, I can tell you if you want. Do you want to know?
Wait, what's the question?
About why the Great Depression occurred?
Yeah, so he's
Oh,
saying
I
that
thought we were
the
talking about World
bankers-
War One, and I was like something Archduke Ferdinand.
So
Oh, but no,
yeah,
yeah, you know what? I do remember learning in the third grade why the Great Depression happened, but that was a long time ago. So if you would like to enlighten
all
the
I
chat,
remember is
nerd
stuff
out.
on margin.
Yeah, well, so the issue is that our stock market, it wasn't because we were broke. People tried to sell off stocks and the stock market crashed. And when the stock market crashed, people ran to the banks to pull out their money. But there wasn't enough physical money in the banks because the banks lend. It's a fractional reserve system. So they lend out more money than they actually have on hand, like exponentially. And when people ran to the banks to pull out their money, there was no FDIC system, so they didn't have the money, and this caused a chain of events to where people sold off more stocks because of this. Uh, they didn't trust the banks, so it caused everything to crash, and our money was backed by gold at the time, so they asked for people's gold and everything to be turned in so that they could have something to back that money with. It wasn't because, I mean, World War One definitely cost us money and things, but we also made a lot of money too because we financed both sides of that war, and every war.
Oh, war. Don't get me started on that. Thank you, Joe. That was very enlightening.
Yeah. Sorry for bringing facts into this.
No, that's what we're here for.
the corporation spent so much money they went broke. So the international banker says, "Well, if you're broke, what are you coming to me for? I'm not going to loan you money if you're broke." And so what do you have as collateral? You got any collateral that you can put up for me to loan you the money? And the corporation called United States, the British corporation called United States, said, "Yes, we have the stock. We'll give you stock in the company. You are the stock in the corporation." So they give your body to the banks in Switzerland.
No.
When you say they give your body to the bank in Switzerland, I am exquisitely aware of exactly where my body is right now. Okay, trust me. If you want to, you can watch me on camera, literally right now. Okay, I'm not in Switzerland. I've been to Switzerland. I did not stay there, and I was not sent there by the government. Against my will, I guess. Was I yeah, I guess technically I would have been funded at least a little bit through NASA at the time, so.
Do you have a point that's related to the video?
The Swiss
No.
Alps.
So your body now becomes
I was just saying that my body is not the property of
The play
Switzerland.
button. The play button.
Stocks
The
for
goddamn
corporations
play
in the United
button.
States because you are a moneymaker. Bankers came in and said, if we're going to loan you money, you guys have lost money. You guys have gone bankrupt. We're going to take care of the accounting. We're going to see where the money goes. We'll give you the money, but we're going to make it sure it goes where we want it to go. So they set up the Federal.
Okay, so bankers are evil. This is not.
Oh yeah, that tracks.
Also, not where the Federal Reserve came from.
And there's that. Oh, Joe, would you like to enlighten us?
So the Federal Reserve was, we had tried a central banking system before, and nobody liked it. It failed, and the Federal Reserve was actually the second iteration of that, and it was decided by the ultra rich people that met on a little island. I think Jekyll Island was the name of it.
What?
The J.P.
Jekyll?
Morgans and such. Yeah, it's in Louisiana, I believe, but they met and decided that they wanted to set up the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is not federal; it's a private entity. It has nothing to do with the government.
Thank you.
Reserve System, and then the collection agency to make
Nothing to do? Like, doesn't the president or something like appoint the chairman of it or something? Or am I totally wrong about that?
So the Federal Reserve, they can appoint somebody like the chairman, but that doesn't really mean anything. If you went to the Federal Reserve and asked who owned it, they won't tell you. It's private. It is
Oh.
privately owned. We
I-
appoint people
okay.
to boards like that because who we appoint to the Federal Reserve isn't actually who owns it. That's just the government agent that represents.
Oversees it.
Yeah.
Got it. Good to know.
I'm sure.
Actually,
people
yeah,
pay us.
Google. I didn't know that part either. The federal Google says the Federal Reserve System fulfills its public mission as an independent entity within government. It's not owned by anyone and is not a private profit-making institution.
The Federal Reserve sells us
It
our
derives
money.
its authority from Congress, though.
Right. Congress gives the Federal Reserve the authority to print our money, but the Federal Reserve sells us our money with interest. Every dollar that they print, we owe back $1 and some change. And this is a whole big rabbit hole about how capitalism isn't sustainable and all that. So we're not going to go there. But like the Federal Reserve is privately owned.
I do notice at least one person in the chat.
Disagrees with me. Yeah.
I have no idea though.
Well,
I
it's not saying what it is. It's saying it's not a private profit making, which is interesting.
We gave them authority, but it wasn't designed by the federal government at all.
Okay.
Well, that may be true, depending on what designed by means.
We're going to set up to keep a record of how much you owe us in business each week. We're going to call it the Federal Reserve. And to make sure that your stock, all the chumps out there in America working, make sure the stock pays us. We're going to make sure they pay us. You don't just tell me you're going to pay. I'm going to make sure they're going to pay. So we will set up a collection agency. Our own personal collection agency is called the Internal Revenue.
The thing is, the general idea that powerful people are often greedy and often are out to, like, extract more money from the less powerful than they already do is not something that I will disagree with. But the idea that it's this organized, that there is an organized sort of them that is being directly funded by the IRS simply strikes me as implausible. Because, I mean, you have the government, but government work on its own doesn't pay well. It's all the things that you're able to do because you got sweet government work that pay well. But I don't know. These people think that the universe is so much more orderly than it actually is.
All right, so Blessed Be He asked me to look up who established maritime law, and I have ADHD, so I had to do it. So according to Google, which is like a maintenance and okay, I have no idea what I'm maintenance and what maintenance and culture.
I
Is it
never have any
maintenance and
idea what I'm
culture?
doing.
I have no idea what I'm reading. I can share it though. But it says that while there are unwritten customs of maritime behavior among the Egyptians, Greeks, and Phoenicians, the earliest formal codes were established on the island of Rhodes as early as 900 BC. And I believe the island of Rhodes is now in Greece. Well, what's considered Greece? I don't know if it was Greece then.
I believe
Um,
so.
yeah, so
900
I,
BC,
I
I think it was Greece then.
Okay, sure. So yeah, there you are. Blessed be He. It was not Canaanite something something anti-Semitic bullshit. It was the Greeks. You're welcome.
So the banks, the corporation called United States, loaned money to the privately owned corporation called United States, and the United States corporation gave your body, your birth certificate, to the banks as collateral for the loan. And
I feel like I have my birth certificate. Well, okay, I don't. My mom does.
I have my kids' birth certificates.
This is my point. Right? Because let me tell you, I have ADHD. I may or may not, hint I totally did, have lost my driver's license this weekend.
Yeah, it was
And
the whole thing.
it was a whole thing. I drove all the way to work. I was keeping Maya updated. She thought I had gotten evicted. It was funny. It was a whole thing.
She was
that's
like,
why
I don't know
today
what's happening
Americans
right
are
now.
nothing but slaves. Now this is something I want you to understand. And you need to listen carefully because this is profoundly important. Most people have never heard this and don't even understand what I'm trying to say. So try and
I don't doubt that.
follow what I'm going to tell you. There are two kinds of law on the earth, as I've said. One is called civil law, which is the law of the land, and one is called maritime admiralty, which is called the law of water. Maritime admiralty is banking law. And the law on the maritime admiralty says that you, because you came out of your mother.
Do you know where he's going with this, Joe?
I have no idea. I mean, we we
We're
use
ta-
the law of the land. I don't.
Hold on. I'm gonna try and, because I'm glad you don't. It means you're not broken by, losing your
Did you
innocence.
think my
with this
Federal
sort of-
Reserve thing meant I was a conspiracy theorist?
But the because you came out of your mother's blank, and he talked about the fact that there was the law of the land, and then there was the admiralty law, the law of water. So where is he going with this?
Oh, because your mother's water broke? Is that where we're going?
Basically,
Mother's water or a maritime.
because you came out of your mother's water.
Oh, yeah.
So
Does he understand what maritime means?
Maya,
I mean,
when
if I
you
go
were
and take a
pregnant-
bath tonight, am I under maritime law? Like, what
Yes,
the
Maya.
goddamn fuck?
and the entire time that you were pregnant, your unborn child was
I was an
only
ocean?
under.
Is this what we're going with?
You
Submarines
were
are
an
filled with
ocean,
semen.
Maya. Be proud of the miracle of life.
I don't like this.
Admiralty product. This is why the
Your child was a maritime admiralty product, Maya.
You should have known.
this is why the ship is sitting in
This
its
video
berth
is
and
annoying.
it's
Yeah.
to the dock, and the captain has to give a certificate of manifest to the port authorities because money is changing hands. This is why when you were born, you have to have a birth certificate.
I'm pretty sure it's just because, it's an important record that the state should keep track of.
It's
On
just
some level.
a receipt.
Oh,
It's
a
gotta be-
birth certificate. Full circle. Now I get it. When he was talking earlier, okay, Joe, you done did it. All right. So the certificate is the receipt of the product or the whatever, the birth, the baby, the corporation that flew out of your vagina. All right. I'm up to speed. God damn it. Let's 10 more minutes of this. I might need to jump off my diet to go I still have hard stuff downstairs, like a whole unopened bottle of tequila.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
because
That's not going to work.
our government wants to ban contraceptives because it prevents capitalism by the birth of corporations.
Signed by the dock, because that's where the ship is tied to, is the dock. So the dock signs your birth certificate. Why?
I hate him so fucking much. Why? God damn it.
Can I sign your birth certificate? I'm Dr.
No,
Pepper.
you're the wrong kind of doc.
But DOCK is the right kind? What?
Exactly.
When I was born, Mom had to run down to the dock and get the ship captain to sign it.
Why? Because you came down out of your mother's water. You came down her birth canal. You are a maritime admiralty product, and therefore.
Wait, so is that like the Suez Canal? Like the birth canal? Fucking damn it.
Man, I have so many untasteful jokes I could make.
Or your birth certificate is signed by your mother, and where your mother signed on the birth certificate, get it, you will see it does not say parent or mother, it says informant. Your mother was informing.
Both of my kids' birth certificates have me as the mother, and have two assholes as the father.
Not as the informant.
Oh, there are no informants on their certificate.
That's a different document altogether.
Maybe I don't have birth certificates. I thought they were issued by the state or the state of Illinois, but maybe it was Illinois State. Which entity should I get a birth certificate from?
The boat captain at the dock.
The Federal Reserve boat captain at the dock.
Right.
Yeah.
The bank that she has just.
Aren't you glad you have us white men to explain things to you, Maya?
I think that's the only appropriate person to explain this shit.
Remember, I said submarines are filled with semen, right?
I love you so much, Joe.
Just produced another product to be bought and sold. England, the British Crown, through international banking, owns your physical body. And that's the law.
That's the law. And it applies, apparently. Even though no laws apply to us.
Yeah. And the Declaration of Independence from Great Britain and the Crown is not the law. That's not legal.
Well, because English law says that our body is, I was going to say the Queen's, but I guess the King's property. They're so
The Rothschilds.
Weird. Oh, man. Oh, man.
You can think it's funny all you want. So the bottom line is that you are a maritime admiralty.
I think you're laughable. I think you're funny. But I don't think your influence on society is funny. I think that's pretty, messed up and fucked up.
Product. And on the back of the Social Security card will be numbers in red.
That's not what my Social Security card looks like. Is it what yours looks like? So my Social Security number is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9.
Yeah, that's remarkably similar to mine. Well,
Yeah.
eh,
Numbers in red.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it. So yeah, being an employer who sees like who looks at like social security numbers
Was
like
it?
for all people that come through my building. And I've been doing that for 17 years now. Um, this
Is it? Mine doesn't look like this. Mine is like there's a lot more blue.
I feel like I would. I mean, that box. I'm not used to that box being around, and I feel like I would probably be called to like
Mine doesn't look
verify if
like
it had
that.
just if it had that box around it because I'm not used to seeing that.
Mine
And
doesn't.
so I'm sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
Um,
I'm just saying there are standard things that come on all the cards, and if they don't, if things look out of place, they're going to assume that they're fraudulent.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know, but
Mine
This is
doesn't look
mine.
like that, but it says the same thing on the back. It does say those words exactly, but
yeah, the word I can't remember.
I guess the back of it sort of does,
I
but the
can't
front of
remember
it
the
looks
last
a
time I
lot more
saw read
fancy.
the back of it, but so I
The
think
front,
for tap the back, I think would be on the top, but because it
yeah.
doesn't look like you've cut yours, but
No, I haven't. I'm exactly that sort of person. This card is dated 2014. I think I got yeah, okay, if in August of 2014 I would have been at that address. And I haven't cut it. ADHD people, that's how I lost my driver's license this morning. It only cost me 4 hours of my time.
On the front will be in blue or black, but
That's
on the
what
back
it
will
looks
be in
like.
red.
See, okay, I should have just let him cook.
yeah, the
Yeah.
front, yeah, that's normal for the front.
The numbers on the back of a Social Security card in red designate your body. It is the serial number of your stock. And this is why if you're wealthy, you are preferred stock. If you're poor, you are common stock. But you are a
I
stock
mean,
on the stock market.
it's not what
that's not what those red numbers are for.
it's not, and it's also like the colloquial term of stock has nothing to do with the stock market.
At
Which
the
terms
risk
of
of building
stock? There's
another
multiple terms
conspiracy
of
theory,
stock.
at the risk of building another conspiracy theory, those red numbers are just the where they just tell where it was printed and what number, kind of like check numbers. They're not. They have
I
nothing to
really
do with
hope
the individual person.
that nothing we showed on screen is gonna like let people get our social security numbers because like I was kind of careful, but I've also been drinking because that the show.
Well, my number
So
comes with a QR code. Let me scan it and see what it says.
I love it. You know what that means? That means that you have just acknowledged that the Federal Reserve has a contract over you, and you are now their slave.
Your body is bought and sold through
It's bought and sold, Joe. Your body is bought and sold.
the use of your birth certificate. And if you could get your original birth certificate back, you
Okay,
would
real
Wait,
quick. So, are you talking about their certification of birth or certificate of live birth? I'm not being pedantic per se, but I have both of mine in front of me: live birth list, my mother, and under informant. That's interesting. I don't have. Okay, so in Illinois, you only get a birth certificate. In Maryland, you get at the hospital certificate of live birth, which is not a birth certificate, and you cannot use to gain employment, or it's not like a legal document of any kind. It's just like a placeholder until your birth certificate is mailed to you. So what he's talking about here, I think he's talking about the birth certificate, but not having ever been issued a certificate of live birth. I'm not really sure what someone would find on it. Anyone else?
I was unaware that there were two different such similarly named things. I was also born in Illinois. Um, I don't. Were you born in Kentucky, Joe?
No, I was born in Ohio.
I mean, Ohio and Illinois are like probably mostly the same. I'm not wrong.
Every state's different. I don't know.
Find that on the back of the birth certificate are all the banks around the world. All over the world, banks have used your birth certificate because you are a stock in a maritime admiralty banking scheme where you make money for banks. So
No. I
Fair.
just looked up what those numbers mean, and they have nothing to do with that.
What is it?
So your the red numbers on the back of your Social Security card are used for internal purposes. They're unique to each cardholder and do not have any specific significance to the function of the cardholder or for official purposes. It's just a database thing. Rather than identify you by your Social Security number or identify the card by your Social Security number, because you can have cards reprinted and stuff, they have to have a unique identifier for the actual card.
Okay, no, and that makes sense, especially when you're in a country as crazy as ours that likes to fearmonger over random bullshit. You force people sometimes to do crazy things just to gain employment. And I do know this just from a couple of times being working in places where we had to we went through a merger, had to change the business over. So everybody had to bring in 2 forms of ID so that they could verify their right to work in the United States. And a certain group of individuals didn't remember their socials and had to go home and bring their cards back the next day so that they could fill out their tax forms. That aside, Dr. Tapioca Weasel has gifted himself 5 more cult members, and those went to Carol Christopherson, Arthur Ames, JD 808, Tyler West, and Solar Flare. Welcome to the cult. Please enjoy your Tapioca Weasels, your vaginas, and your nitties.
Woo.
consequently, the corporation and government and people who want to control you, they create a second you, and that second you that they control, that they created, is all capital letters. Check it out. Anytime you get a bill, get a lawsuit, you get a fine, a ticket, somebody sends you a bill from the Department of Water and Power, check it out on your driver's license, on your Social Security card, on your insurance cards, anything having to do business, your name will always be in all capital letters, because only all capital letters can be dealt with by banks and government.
And
Anytime you have a
again,
name upper or
for
lowercase,
anybody who wasn't here at the beginning of the stream when we addressed this is total bullshit. The all caps thing is a best practice. If you have a document that both parties agree to and sign, it's not invalid because they're not all caps. Also, putting your name in all caps does not automatically sign you up for corporationhood status or whatever the fuck he's asserting here.
I can't show it because it would dox me, but I'm holding in my hand this is it right here. Well, you can't really see it, but it's a tax document for the DMV of Kentucky, and my name is typed with a capital J, and the rest of it is not capitalized. It's the address. My name is capitalized, but my motor vehicle registration is not. So, does that mean it's not my car?
No, it means it's not a legal document, and
Right.
It means you can sue them for $1 billion.
No, they still want me to pay the taxes on the vehicle either way.
Yeah, and let me tell you, if there's a typo and but like you get the document, or rather they're convinced that you got the document, you're on the hook for paying that. It doesn't matter if they spell your name wrong.
Right.
My last name is Vandegraff. It is a high maintenance name. People misspell that name constantly. It has 2 spaces in it. There's often, in other versions of names that start with Vandy, there's often an R at the end of the DE, not in my name, and then there's 2 A's and 2 F's at the end of my name. Do you know how often people forget one or both? So often. Guess what?
Yeah.
If the government sends me a thing and it's spelled wrong, exactly like that, BTF Wayne.
Yeah, no, if the government spelled your name wrong, fuck you. Pay me.
Let me just address something real quick so I don't catch any flack for this, but No, doorknob. Kentucky does not have a DMV. I just used that term because I knew everybody would know what I was talking about.
Oh, I do the same thing in
This-
Maryland. I mean, because nobody knows what the fucking MVA is.
Yeah.
Just DMV.
Is that
What is
also
it in
what's called?
what is
In,
yours?
in California, it is a DMV, which it wasn't in Colorado. In Colorado, it was the DMT, or the T was used. Department of Transportation, DOT, Department of Transportation. So that's
And
what.
what's it
But in
called?
California, it is a DMV. It is a
Wait.
DMV in
Yeah, and I
California.
think so in Illinois too. Joe, what's it called in
I think
Kentucky?
so.
It's the I wanted to say that it's the cabinet of motor vehicles or something like that. In Ohio, it's the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. It's the cabinet of something. It's not listed on here. It just says the clerk's office on here. It doesn't have the. I forget what it is. It's the. I forget, but it's not the DMV.
No, yeah, I was just I don't know. I find it interesting because I know it is the DMV in most states, but that's what 26, and then it could be anything else in any other state. I mean, I'm not saying it is definitely 26 states. I'm just saying I know it is in most states, and then other states have like wacky things like the Bureau of Kentucky. I don't know. All right, moving on.
I am descended from swamp Germans, assuming you mean the Dutch.
That applies to you. I got no
They are literally called the Netherlands. Okay, they brought it upon themselves. I'm just saying.
control of you. You sign a contract in which your name is in all capital letters. Now I can take you to court. Now I can take you. As a matter of fact, the judge sits on a bench. He rules from the bench. The word bench in Latin is a bank. Look it up in a Latin dictionary.
Is that
Oh,
true?
now I have to look this up.
Yeah. I want to know.
So the judge rules from the bench. Right, because he's ruling for the bank. Why? Because somebody's going to pay. It's just a game here.
Wait, he said it was bank in what language?
Bench and Latin.
Latin. Okay, so origin. Let's see.
Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, just to answer the last question.
Thank you. So it's saying that the origin is Germanic, which went to Old English, Dutch, German, and then English. And it started as, I say, BENC, and then it went to, I think,
Titan says that
Yeah.
it is correct.
what? Bench
Titan,
bank?
yeah, it's
I don't
Banca.
know. Oxford Dictionary says he's wrong, but that doesn't mean anything. Let's see. Let's see. Oh,
I mean,
wait a minute.
If we can
The
nail down
online
Titan,
etymology dictionary is saying it's right.
I'm just saying, if at any point we're able to nail down Titan for being ultra crepidarian, then I'm all for it. But so far, I haven't had any success on the topic.
The Queen of England wants a cut of the American blood. She wants a piece. Because somebody's going to pay, and the money's going to go where? Into a bank. That's right. The judge rules of the bank. So consequently, if you are working in California making money, you are
I'm working in California making money.
then referred to as a franchisee.
I've never in my life knowingly been referred to as a franchisee.
You're a franchisee of a foreign corporation. 1849 Constitution.
Foreign? I mean, if I live in California, even if there was a corporation of California that was applied to me, and I can imagine ways in which states count as corporations because the word corporation can have a few different, meanings. It can literally be any sort of, sometimes, organized group of people that are like doing a thing. I don't think I'm a franchisee though.
Constitution of California says no California
it's saying,
citizen.
like the old English BNC, German of German origin, translated to the Dutch BANK, and then German BANK. But I don't know. It's just I'm thinking that they're related but not the same. Like the same word used to be used for both terms, but I don't know. I'd have to look in. I mean, I don't know. It's just like going to take more than like 5 seconds of Google to sort this out. But even if they started out the same root word, as many words do, doesn't mean that they're the same word today that can be used interchangeably.
Right, they have meanings.
Will ever pay taxes in California state, ever. There will never be a state tax in California, ever. That's the Constitution in California.
Well, that's certainly not in effect.
But if you say that you're a United States citizen, you're saying you work for
California in that context might have been California a state, as in like a federal, like nation state. I don't know what they were trying to say. You can't make laws in perpetuity for any version of like the land and actually expect them to be held to. There are contexts in which you can't expect it to be held to, but they are firmly within a greater context of like jurisprudence and law. If we decide to chuck all the past laws, guess what? There isn't a magical superpower that comes down and forces us to obey the past laws. Society, it's made
Also,
of
it
people.
doesn't matter like whether it's California or California State or State of California. You still have to pay your goddamn taxes, or you're getting thrown into jail. IJS.
Not fair.
for a privately owned corporation called United States. Therefore, you are a franchisee of a foreign corporation. Therefore, you must pay the California Franchise Tax Board, not California State Tax Board. There is no state tax in California. You pay the California Franchise Tax Board because you're a franchisee of a foreign corporation under maritime banking law, international law. You work for the Queen of England. Your butt is owned by the Queen of England.
My butt is owned by the Queen of England is the title of my sex tape.
I think this came out like 5 days ago when she was still deceased. So I don't even know what point he's trying to make here.
You're right. It's right here. I don't withdraw my comment though. My butt is owned by the Queen of England.
In a corporation called United States, while a man called Bush is the president of the British corporation. You need to wake up and find out how this stuff really works. Because once you understand that you don't need to submit yourself as an American to a British commercial venture called courts.
Did he say corpse?
Courts.
Oh. Joe,
Like,
questions, comments, concerns?
Well, I mean, I was looking up franchise while that was playing, and a franchise is a joint venture between the franchisor and the franchisee. Our Declaration of Independence was us saying that we are no longer a franchisee of England. So
Yeah.
so it
there's
was the
that.
opposite. It was the opposite of what he said.
Right. Yeah.
The opposite of what he said was true. You know what? That's a great place to stop, actually. Because I mean, I think it sums up this entire video so well. So well. It's been about 2 hours. And Hey Tap, I put in the Discord. So last
Mm.
time we did,
Yes, I love it. I'm on board. Hold on, let me
I
just.
want to make sure that everybody gets this
Yeah, it's life
sage,
advice. You got to do it.
yeah, sage legal advice.
Where's the? There it is. There we go.
Okay,
Pull it over here.
and away we go.
Hot Brothers at Law, it's Shut the Fuck Up Friday, and we are here with Michael Rappaport, and we are going to review that script for you. Big brother, what do you say when the cops first pull you over?
Why'd you pull me over?
And when they start asking questions?
Not discussing my day or night, sir.
And if they keep asking questions?
Politely say, am I being detained or am I free to go?
And if detained, what do you say?
Sir, I invoke the fifth.
And then, Michael Rappaport, what do you do?
Shut the fuck up.
Simple, 25 words, politely, respectfully. Review it not only on Shut the Fuck Up Friday, but every day.
And don't forget to shut the fuck up.
What are we supposed to do?
Shut the fuck up.
And then when the cops ask more
You
questions,
shut the fuck up.
what if they put the cuffs on
You
you?
shut the fuck up.
What if
You
they-
don't say a fucking word. You know what you do? You shut the fuck up.
And they take you to the station?
You shut the fuck up.
And then they try to let you
You
go.
shut your fucking big fucking mouth. You shut the fuck up.
And that's the tip of the
Because today is Shut the Fuck Up Friday.
It's Shut the Fuck Up Friday every day.
It shut.
You see,
Yeah.
what do you do when you see a cop?
Shut the fuck
Shut the
up.
fuck up.
See, it's simple and easy.
And you do it politely. Notice, like
Yes.
it was always saying,
Don't
"Sir."
provoke. Don't
I
poke
like-
the bear. God damn it.
Like I would even add in a little bit of fluff of being like, I don't feel like, discussing my day. I'd sort of make it seem like it's a me thing. I'm just not in the mood. But
I just say
maybe that's-
lawyer.
But do you say lawyer or attorney?
Oh, yeah, I say
The-
lawyer.
the cop, yeah, it's
Literally,
not.
that's
Yeah,
the
it's
lawyer.
not an excuse, and the cop knows that.
Exactly. Oh.
Oh God! All right, Joe. Who are you? Where are you? And what do you have coming up this week?
My name's Joe. I'm the Kentucky Atheist. I run the channel, The Kentucky Atheist. This week, I think the only thing we really have going on is trivia night this week, and that's Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. I will do some members content and stuff for my members, but that's not available to everybody. You got to be a member for that.
Are there any people in the community that just randomly sometimes gift people memberships on your channel?
Yeah.
It happened.
The next guest I have coming on is Peter from the channel. Going to go for it though, and
Oh, cool. What's that?
and he's got some ventures going on that we're going to talk about and why they are important for the community to learn how to make better content. But
All right.
that's really all I got going on. The Kentucky Atheist, though, that's the name of the channel. I'm the Kentucky Atheist everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you look for me. I'm the Kentucky Atheist. Discord, it's the same everywhere.
Branding is it's a good plan. I agree.
Yeah.
As the Queen of England owns my ass, members content.
Like I said, title of my sex tape. I can't link my OnlyFans here, but I can continue to pretend that it exists if you get in contact with me privately.
This is an interesting comment. There's a local annoying barfly who we call Tinkerbell Motherfucker because when he was arrested, they asked if he had any nicknames or other nicknames he went by, and he said that, and they wrote it down.
I applaud this person. Okay, I think that this guy is fantastic. Tinkerbell motherfucker. If I had the presence of mind to answer that, if I was being asked if I had aliases, because the thing is, it's pretty good. All I have is Tapioca Weasel, which again, pretty good. But
You should say that to the cop. He'll probably go into a giggle fit and just let you go.
it's also a fact. Like, it genuinely is an alias of mine, right?
Yeah, they would consider that. They would put
They
that
would.
on your legal paperwork if
They
you told
would. No,
them
they
that.
totally would. Oh my
Yeah.
god. So I had to like convert a GitHub thing that me and one of the grad students in my lab was like working on recently. And the problem is, at the time, I only had one GitHub account, and I had named my GitHub account Tapioca Weasel. So I had to like give all of my like my boss and everything. They were like, where do I go to like pull this a repository? And I had to be like, okay, so it's github.com/tapioca weasel. And they were like, what? And I'm like, tapioca weasel. And they're like, that's awesome. I'm never letting you forget this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could totally get arrested and tell the cops that.
We'll never let you forget that you told us. Thanks.
I have like 6 aliases on my rap sheet, so I feel
I
you.
haven't been
God
arrested.
damn.
My rap
Like,
sheet's like
do you
50
have to
pages.
divulge that information, or do they?
They
Uh,
keep it.
no, like, I mean, do if they know that that you're known by an alias, like, would they put it
They
on
don't.
there, or like, do you have to?
They
No,
don't. You don't
it,
have
it follows
to
you.
maybe identify by your name and like enough information for them to like identify you. That there's very little you
No,
have
but like if you're known like around the way as like I don't know, dope man or whatever, like insert cool name here,
the
but you don't
Kentucky
tell them
atheist.
that. Like, no, I am totally not dope man. I'm just Joe. Is it going to end up making its way onto your rap sheet, even though you did not tell them that?
If they know of it, if they know of
Mm-hmm.
people calling you this, like you're known as that, then if they find out, it will. I mean, but otherwise, yeah, it's pretty much you have to tell them. Like even like if you say like my rap sheet has Joe middle name last name, and then also Joe middle name last name, and then also my initials, and so they like anything that anybody could possibly call you if they put it on there, and then it follows you forever. So
Yeah, like I would
anytime,
go. Yeah,
yeah,
like Vandy would be on there. Tapioca Weasel would be on there.
absolutely.
Uh, Michael Vandegraff, my actual name, would be on there. Um, I wonder how creative they would get with all the different ways that you can make fun of the name Vandegraff, though, because you could like my dad was called Vanda Giraffe a lot. I've never really been called that. I've been called other things that I'm not going to say because I don't want you guys to start calling me that, and I have enough self-awareness to know that the easiest way is to just not tell you those names. Um,
Oh,
so yeah.
I love it.
I love your laugh. It's hilarious. I'm sorry. It's like very John Candy esque. I don't know if anybody's ever said that to you before.
No, no,
Yeah,
I've never heard that, but hey,
it's
if
either
people
yours
are
or mine.
comparing me to John Candy, everything's great because there's a lot worse.
Certainly, certainly. Yeah, I've been called worse things this week. So,
Right.
um, also, okay, so yeah, tomorrow on Skeptic Haven at I think it's 8 o'clock Central, not Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. I'll be with oh god, Jay from Pocket Locker 86, Durante Lamar from Durante Lamar, because Durante Lamar and me have such really imaginative channel names, and someone else who I should probably know about, but I'm not. I don't know. It'll be at least 4 of us. We'll be on Skeptic Haven tomorrow, doing starting a new show that we'll be doing every other Monday, so twice a month, and hope to see you all there. Tab, do you have anything coming up for in the foreseeable future?
I do not actually, but no, I do not. Other than, of course, every week here on Bad Science Sunday. Woo!
All right, yeah, join us back next week. We will be here. And Joe, again, thank you so much for coming by. We had a great time with you tonight. I
Oh,
hope we
thank
didn't
you.
like break the brain too much.
No, thank you. I was excited to do this, and I'm glad that you allowed me to. So, my pleasure.
Awesome. All right, everybody. See you next week. Bye.